See you then.
On World News Tonight this Friday, the naval assault on one single ship. Finally, the Carissa goes down. The Wall Street ride to 10,000. What's the obsession with the number? Robotic parking. Technology on the cutting edge. And the box that transfixed a nation and transformed a culture when television was young. The Century on Friday.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Finally this evening, we are able to report that the government of the United States has brought its forces to bear and finally managed to sink a wayward ship half full of oil that has defied every attempt to deal with it for 36 days. 300 miles off the coast of Oregon tonight, the new Carissa is at the bottom of the Pacific. Finally. ABC's Deborah Wong on her final hours.
The crew of the destroyer USS David R. Ray manned the rails as they returned to port after helping put the new Carissa to rest.
Watching it go was just unbelievable.
But she didn't go down without a fight. First, the Coast Guard lowered demolition experts onto the ship to plant 400 pounds of plastic explosives, blowing a hole in the hull. Then the destroyer fired round after round from its 5-inch guns. They didn't always find their mark, but even after repeated direct hits, the ship was still afloat and once again was drifting toward shore.
That thing has a way of finding the beach in Oregon. My call is put it down.
We've just given the sub a green range, pass that to the P3.
Finally, the destroyer pulled back to a safe distance as a nuclear-powered submarine fired a single torpedo, sinking the new Carissa and sending it 12,000 feet to the bottom of the ocean. You can see it just on the horizon, slipping below the surface. It has been more than a month since the new Carissa first beached on the Oregon coast, more than a month since the Coast Guard, state, and federal agencies began their struggle to dispose of it. And who will pay for this whole operation? The ship's owners have promised to foot the entire multi-million-dollar bill, including $1.2 million for the torpedo that brought the new Carissa down. Deborah Wong, ABC News, Everett, Washington.
On Wall Street today, despite the wishful thinking, the Dow Jones Industrial Average did not get to 10,000. The Dow was down 21 points to close at 98.76. On the NASDAQ, stocks were down more than 30 points. There's an awful lot of debate over whether Dow 10,000 will actually build confidence among investors or serve as a reason to sell. Either way, it's become an enormously powerful symbol for the market. On the money tonight, here's ABC's Bob Jamieson.
19,000 British. I'll sell 6,000.
The Dow stumbled today in part because one of its components, Caterpillar, reported disappointing earnings. Until then, it had been a steady surge this month toward the 10,000 mark. Strong consumer spending has had investors buying retail stocks. Low interest rates have had investors buying bank stocks. Higher crude prices have had investors buying oil company stocks. 30 stocks from the biggest and best of corporate America make up the Dow Industrials. It is supposed to represent the growth of America's economy. It began life in 1897, when Americans associated riches more with the Klondike Gold Rush than Wall Street. It then took 75 years for the Dow to hit 1,000 in 1972, the year The Godfather won Best Picture. It took another 13 years to hit 5,000 in 1995, just a month after O.J. Simpson was acquitted. And today, just 3 years and 4 months later, it has nearly doubled. Would 10,000 be historic?
10,000 is just a number. It indicates that the bull market is alive and well, supported by a continued, very positive economic environment.
But other analysts worry that while some stocks of big companies are up sharply, a lot are not. Smaller companies like Honeywell and Raytheon.
You'll find that about 3/4 of all the stocks that trade in the U.S. are about 15% behind the market in the last year. That's a pretty big number. A few stocks have driven the market.
Despite today's losses, most here on Wall Street believe the market's strength will push it past 10,000 sooner rather than later. And expectations will be high here on Monday. Bob Jamieson, ABC News, New York.
Still on the money, the price of oil up another 42 cents a barrel today after the oil-producing nations agreed to cut production by 2 million barrels a day. Industry analysts are skeptical that the big producers will stick together to force the price they have not in the past. Don't sneer at the coupon. If you do, according to a company that analyzes coupon popularity, they saved consumers $3 billion last year, presuming the price of a product was not passed on in other ways. The International Olympics Committee has finally issued its own report on the Salt Lake City corruption scandal, and there is no strong suggestion for house cleaning at the IOC. Here's ABC's Sheila McVicker.
The IOC report adds only one more name to the list of those facing expulsion: Paul Walwork of Western Samoa, who got $30,000 from Salt Lake. But for the most high-profile IOC members under investigation, the Commission recommends only a reprimand. Phil Coles of Australia, $65,000 of excessive hospitality, a reprimand. IOC Vice President Un Yong Kim, whose son allegedly got a job that was paid for by the Salt Lake Committee, a reprimand. And powerful Russian member Vitaly Smirnov, also a reprimand.
We've got to walk the line with each case, and some of the cases were easy, some of them were harder, but we did it all by consensus.
While critics call the report a whitewash, some members marked for expulsion say they will not go quietly. Jean-Claude Ganga of the Congo denies taking more than $200,000 worth of gifts and threatens to tell what he knows about others. Look elsewhere for corruption, he says. There are people for whom planes and trains have been chartered. IOC President Juan Antonio Samaranch still insists the scandal is a minor affair. We are only talking here, he says, about corruption of less than $1 million. But the accusations keep flying. Just this week, U.S. IOC member Anita de France was accused of knowing all about Salt Lake's vote-getting schemes, an allegation she strongly denies. Next week, the accusers and the accused will meet in Switzerland to vote on the expulsions and new rules of conduct. The IOC hopes that will be enough to win back public confidence. Sheila McVicker, ABC News, London.
The North Atlantic Treaty Organization has welcomed 3 new members today: Poland, Hungary, and the Czech Republic. They used to be members of the Soviet alliance. There were celebrations in each of the countries today. In Poland, a man who once led demonstrations against the communists said, "To think we would one day join NATO, it's like a fantasy." In the world's 4th most populous country tonight, Indonesia, the army has been ordered to shoot any civilians holding weapons of any kind. Indonesia is trying to stop the fighting between Christians and Muslims on some of its more distant islands. It is the kind of violence that was never tolerated during the long rule of the dictator Suharto. Suharto's gone. There is a more democratic government now, and there is chaos, especially on Ambon Island. Matt Fry works for the British Broadcasting Corporation.
5,000 people trying to get onto a ferry made for 500. This is a desperate exodus of almost biblical proportions. No one wants to be left behind. No one and nothing. What makes people take a journey like this with all their belongings? This does. Bedlam. Unable to control the crowd, these soldiers fired into it with live ammunition. They killed one. But it is they who are scared of the people. An army in panic. This is a war between Muslims and Christians. They used to live as neighbors here. Now they've decided it's time to kill each other.
At this moment, nobody is running Indonesia. It's like a giant jumbo jet which you see in airplane disaster movies where the captain has died, Suharto is off and the co-pilot is inexperienced.
Without a fair election and a stable government, there is little hope for the 90 million people living below the poverty line. Matt Fry, BBC News, Jakarta.
When we come back, we're going to take a look at higher education, a diploma and thousands of dollars in debts, the ever-rising cost of college tuition. And music loses a giant. Yehudi Menuhin died today.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by Aleve.
Here's a new idea. A pain reliever from Aleve that goes to work fast and lasts all day. Introducing new Aleve gel caps. Like most gel caps, they go to work fast, but Aleve gel caps do more than work fast. They have the strength to work all day long with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that. Look, if your pain reliever starts fast but won't last, get one that does it all. New Aleve gel caps, 2 pills, all-day relief. Works for me.
With all we have to do today, does it make sense to keep color on your hair for 30 minutes when you can get rid of the gray in 5? Just 5. Great color, body, and shine in 5 gentle minutes. Just 5. Smart hair color. Works for me.
It's my biggest story ever.
Let's run with it. Nobody in the world sells more real estate than RE/MAX.
Exactly.
What tipped you off?
Let's just say there was something in the air.
We have new facts about a nationwide conspiracy. Its members are profoundly happy. They're not forced to stay, but once they join, they never want to leave. Here's their latest recruitment effort.
Now buy a DirecTV system and get free installation, plus 3 free months of programming, with no long-term commitments. So hurry, sign up today.
Someday we will all be one of them. Who are these people?
DirecTV, what are you looking at?
Why do I have Aflac insurance on top of my regular health insurance? Because she throws like a boy and dances like an angel. Because we've shared the same heartbeat. And because Aflac helps cover what other insurance doesn't. If I'm sick, Aflac even provides cash to help pay bills. So why do I have Aflac? Because I have her. Aflac supplemental insurance. Without it, no insurance is complete.
There is difficult news for college students and their parents today. The price of a college education is rising twice as fast as most other things in the country. Tuition for next year is going up between 3 and 4.5% on average. It's interesting, the average college endowment is up more than 70% in the past 4 years. So how can they justify charging more? Here's ABC's Jackie Judd.
For many universities, part of the problem of keeping tuition under control is the cost of staying competitive.
We are faced with, wanting to provide the absolute state-of-the-art facilities, equipment, library resources, information resources to our students. And those things, many of those things are very costly.
Among public universities especially, there is an insidious process at work. Because tuition is higher, students need more aid. 7 out of 10 rely on it. But giving out more and more student aid means having to bring in more and more money.
Institutions have turned to the one revenue stream over which they have control, which is their tuition. And they have increased that tuition, taken 1 out of every 3 of those dollars, and recycled it back into student aid.
The skeptics say that some colleges raise tuition simply because demand is so great, and there is pressure not to fall behind in the price wars because some students may equate lower prices with lower quality.
There's a competition, a marketplace in which the colleges compete, and prestige in terms of price is a part of the equation.
Yet more students than ever before are attending college. 2/3 of all high school graduates have decided a diploma is worthwhile, no matter what the cost. Jackie Judd, ABC News, Washington.
One of the century's most interesting, most influential musicians has died. The violinist, conductor, and teacher Yehudi Menuhin had a heart attack while he was preparing to conduct the Warsaw Symphony in Berlin. Menuhin was famous almost from birth. He was born in New York in 1916 to Russian immigrant parents and raised in San Francisco. The critics first heard Menuhin when he was only 7. Brilliant for any age, they said. Menuhin played Carnegie Hall when he was 11. As an adult, Menuhin was devoted to young musicians and founded several schools. He loved all forms of music. Here he is with the jazz violinist Stefan Grappelli. His style, said the great violinist Isaac Stern, was stunning elegance. Yehudi Menuhin was 82. In a moment, technology on the cutting edge.
Put on your best suit, your finest shoes. You are cordially invited to Lobster Fest at Red Lobster. Indulge in all of your lobster favorites. From delicious lobster appetizers to mouth-watering rock lobster tail at the most casual prices of the year. Escape to Red Lobster for Lobster Fest today.
This is not like any other antacid I've ever had.
You won't believe your mouth.
It dissolves in your mouth. It's just like shabam.
Introducing Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables, a whole new kind of calcium antacid for heartburn.
Dissolves immediately, swallow, done.
Boom.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables dissolve faster and more completely than Tums.
It's not gritty. It's not pieces. Goodbye, grit.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Tablets. Quick dissolve your heartburn away.
I'm a happy man.
From 1 Minute Maalox.
I've had an IRA account at Schwab for over 15 years now, and I use Schwab.com to manage it. I found it very easy to buy my no-load mutual funds through it, and I also look after the joint account for my wife and myself. I have a sister who's prefer to have me manage her account, and I do that. And I use Schwab.com all the time. Makes it very efficient in terms of use of time. And I think they're all happy with results.
Nature made me a person of many parts. Nature made me determined to make all of them last. And thankfully, to help, there are premium quality nature-made vitamins and herbs, like vitamin E, which research shows can help keep my heart healthy. There's no stopping me, because nature made me.
Technology on the cutting edge tonight. The Department of Transportation has been researching city traffic. It finds that roughly half the cars moving at any one time are simply looking for a parking space. Here's ABC's Bill Redeker.
Parking. It's one of life's most frustrating chores. There never seem to be enough places to park, enough room to park, and...
Sir, read the sign.
Now there may be a better way. It's called robotic parking. In this machine shop in Latonia, Ohio, German engineer Gerhard Haag has designed an operational prototype.
We are looking at the first fully automated parking structure in America.
Here's how it works. You drive your car into one of the garage's entry bays and onto a steel pallet. After you leave your car and take your ticket, the system's computer takes over.
No humans need to be involved in this.
That's correct, sir.
The computer tells a mechanical shuttle to pick up the pallet, move it along a network of rails, and unload the car into a parking slot or shelf. Several pallets can operate at the same time.
We are able to probably park 15 cars simultaneously.
So the computer will determine where the parking space is that's available for the incoming car?
Yes.
What happens if you leave a child in the back seat?
We have motion detectors.
When you return, your ticket tells the computer where your car is parked.
It takes the robotic equipment about 2 minutes to retrieve your car.
No guesswork about where you parked it. No strange nicks, dents, or scratches. No parking attendant to tip. The first robotic garage will be built on this lot in downtown Hoboken, New Jersey, where space is at a premium.
With a surface lot, just taking the surface as it is right now, we could probably put 25 cars, tops. Robotic, 324.
That's because, unlike conventional garages, there are no space-consuming ramps in a robotic garage. Just don't leave your ticket on the dashboard. Bill Redeker, ABC News, Latonia, Ohio.
The Air Force has released a report on the future of the country's bombers. They expect that the venerable B-52, built before the Vietnam War, will last until the year 2044, at which time they will be 84 years old. In a moment, the century on Friday.
We plug this thing in and turn on this box, and there are people there. Well, I want to tell you, we did not move for days.
The television revolution.
Want to color your gray beard or mustache and look natural? Get Just for Men Gel.
You look so natural, no one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
Brush in and in 5 minutes, gray is gone.
No one can tell with Just for Men Gel.
Getting those urban cowboys on horses was trying enough. And you throw in some serious chili, we're talking major heartburn. And we were way out there, and this cowboy, he pulls this Zantac 75 out of his saddlebag. I said, what are you, a Zantac salesman? He said, no, I'm a doctor.
The medicine in Zantac 75 is the #1 doctor-prescribed acid reducer. It relieves even your toughest heartburn, controlling acid for up to 12 hours.
Hats off to you, Doc.
Zantac 75 for tough heartburn. Doctors know.
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Wiz presents the 10 million thousand things we have to do every day. Locate stuff. Prevent osteoporosis. Conquer flab. Train dog. Pet husband. Control frizz. Remind kids of family infrastructure. Save the planet. Then we still have to do the laundry really well. Good thing Whisk has a targeted cleaning system. Now everything you wash gets done right the first time. Whisk. Do it once. Do it right.
Well, I think we're all in agreement here.
Right. Getting all our supplies at Staples will really save us a lot.
You guys still work on the boss's pet project to save the company money? Why? The old man's not out of town for days. He has no idea what we're doing. In fact, I'm gonna go play another 9 holes right now. What do you think about that?
Well, the Staples idea takes care of my pet project. And Harris, we'll discuss your ideas when I get back.
Staples saves you money on all your supplies. Want great low prices? Staples, plus free delivery.
Catch the wave of extraordinary savings. Be progressive. Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO. And remember,
I run an inn, but mostly it runs me. I can't be slowed down wearing something big and bulky for my bladder control problem. But a pad wasn't enough. Until I found new Poise Ultra Plus. They're small and discreet, but have all the protection of a regular undergarment. They absorb all this, and they're just as good at guarding against leaks. Finally, undergarment protection in a pad. With Poise Ultra Plus, I can keep up with innkeeping. New Poise Ultra Plus, the freedom to be yourself.
On 2020 Tonight.
He has a little problem. He pops a pill, and he's 18 again.
Viagra.
Why can't they do this for me?
The miracle drug for men.
Could it be for women, too?
Hugh Downs, Barbara Walters, 2020 Tonight.
Finally this evening, The Century on Friday. It's about our roots tonight. 60 years ago at the World's Fair, which was here in New York City, there were so many futuristic gadgets. One of them that really turned out to be something was being introduced to the public for the first time. Tonight, when television was young.
But I still want a television set.
Ricky, wait a minute. Let's not watch television tonight.
Not watch television? Plug this thing in and turn on this box, and there are people there. Well, I want to tell you, we did not move for days.
Don, will you push a button and bring in the Atlantic coast? On monitor 2, may we have the Pacific coast, please? We, for our part, are considerably impressed. For the first time, man has been able to sit at home and look at 2 oceans at the same time.
You sat in front of that set even when there was nothing on but the test pattern. You thought, you can't tell. They're liable to put on something right now.
Television. Well, they finally got me.
Bob Hope called it that piece of furniture that looks back at you. The media commentator Marshall McLuhan called it the mechanical bride. Today, most historians would say that television has been the most transforming machine of the 20th century. Television changed politics, business, sports. It completely altered family dynamics. It was crucial in shaping national values. And it altered the nature of communication. The country was shifting from the word culture, represented by radio and the newspaper, to the image culture. It began with Uncle Milty.
The man who has captured America's heart, Milton Berle!
Milton Berle had been a failure on radio, but he became an instant success on television, where the sight gag was everything.
So let's have another cup of coffee, and let's have another piece of pie.
Then came Ed Sullivan, the great variety show in the late 1940s. And Sid Caesar became a national sensation.
When people would give us a call on the phone that the television set was just delivered, it wouldn't be long before we'd be down having soda or sitting around watching the new television. And as soon as we left there, we would say, that's what we have to have next.
Comedy was the television's strength, and the sitcom was television's favorite comedy. When I Love Lucy came along in 1951, Lucille Ball became a weekly habit.
And it wouldn't be unusual for your doctor to say, I'll see you at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, and you would say, I am very sorry. I Love Lucy is on. I have to see I Love Lucy.
As an entertainment medium, television was very good. As a sales medium, it was even better.
Frost-free refrigerator, and I don't mean that it's frost-free just here in the shelves.
These three windows, ABC, CBS, and NBC, were a window on a world that a family could sit down and look out of and see what they didn't have.
Television created demand in part because everything on it seemed so believable, from product demonstrations to journalism.
Television really changed the society, changed everything. We began to get news in our homes. We became interested in public affairs. It began to take over our political system.
Television was even a force for national consensus. With everyone watching the same shows and the same commercials, regional barriers broke down, helping to make America one large electronic village. By 1960, there were nearly 45 million sets.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Most of the country would spend the rest of the century in the warm glow of the cathode ray tube.
Ralph, will you wake up and come to bed?
From television to the internet. This week on our website, thecentury.com, we focus on the turning points in television. There's a lot of information on the century's most popular programs. That is our report on World News Tonight. On Nightline later, did a computer scientist turn over nuclear secrets to the Chinese? I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good weekend. Good night.
Sunday on This Week with Sam Donaldson and Cokie Roberts.
Allegations of a spy for China in Los Alamos, plus the political futures of Elizabeth Dole and Hillary Clinton. Sunday.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABCNews.com, now a part of the Go Network.
ABC Sunday.
Your mother thinks it would be best if you didn't spend time with me.
The battle for his son.
My ex-husband fights for bad people. It was more important than being a father.
You know that's not true.
Is the one he can't afford to lose.
If I have to get ugly, you have to let me.
All new Practice. ABC Sunday at 10/9 Central.
Now, News 2 at 6. First, fast, accurate.
We are truly in a life and death situation with George Jones.
Words from Jones's friend Evelyn Shriver, who has seen the country star. Today, bad news as he suffers a setback.
Right now, he is in critical condition at Vanderbilt Medical Center, and he has been put back on a ventilator. Good evening. Country singer George Jones is no longer breathing on his own.
Tonight, as we said, he is back on a ventilator after developing pneumonia. News 2's Melissa Penry is live at Vanderbilt Medical Center with the very latest. Melissa?
Well, Bob and Ann, a close friend of the family, this afternoon described this to me as a